Now, Combs did not do this all on his own.
You call Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating.
Diddy's world is about to crumble, and his mom might be right there with him. According to the sources, she is about to get all caught up in his legal mess. And, folks, the accusations are wild. You know, how Mama Combs was all supportive when her son's lawsuits started to fly around? Allegedly, she wanted to make sure her own antics aren't discovered because those in the know are saying that it was Diddy's mom who was running the show. And if you're wondering how all this drama got out and hit the media, it's Kim Porter's family who leaked the shocking stuff. Apparently, they handed over some evidence to the feds, and now Mama Combs might be rocking a prison jumpsuit right next to her son.
Able to get into that, but you can look it up and...
Kim's family is still out here seeking justice after her borderline suspicious demise. You've probably seen in the headlines that they have never been cool with the official story about her passing. And Diddy's recent arrest got them talking. They've always had suspected that the whole pneumonia explanation was just a distraction. And honestly, it makes sense. The first coroner said there were some toxins in Kim's system. But get this, before anyone could ask more questions, that coroner got fired and a new one was appointed. And multiple sources are now saying the feds might have been looking into whether Kim's demise wasn't really from pneumonia, but something darker.
I'm sure a lot of people are asking about what's going on with it.
And things have stayed for a while, but, 2024 is the year of exposure, as they say. So Diddy finally got caught. And, when the feds get involved, things get real messy. Word is the FBI got access to Kim's secret diary, where all the wild allegations about Diddy's mom running the freak-off parties behind the scenes was described. There's been a lot of covering up when it comes to Kim's tragedy, and the details around her demise just don't add up. One of the industry's whistleblowers, Jaguar Wright, was directly saying that she was poisoned, and it was all staged to make folks believe that Kim has passed away from pneumonia, and it happened peacefully in her sleep.
Now, they're saying that she did pass away from an illness, and it is natural causes. Right now, though, we do see a lot of activity at the house.
And apparently, it was Diddy who orchestrated the whole incident because, as the story goes, he even gave the number of his own doctor. So, if she was being watched by a medical professional that Diddy himself picked out, it already looks suspicious as hell. And here's another twist. Kim's close friend, Kimora Simmons Quincy, and her ex Al B sure have both hinted that Diddy knows a lot more about Kim's passing than he's letting on. The latter even posted about how he was torn up when he found out about her passing, and he straight up said Kim didn't just have pneumonia out of nowhere. Al also posted a throwback photo with her, saying she was trying to tell him something before she passed. And later, when Diddy's horrible actions stopped being a secret, he even addressed his son Quincy, asking him to run away from the music mogul. Letter to my son. Come home. Letter to my son. Come home. The door is wide open. You're safe here, son. I love you, Papas. You're biological. But his words are making sense only now, when we learn more about Diddy's crimes and how he was forcing others to join his freak-off shenanigans.
The indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs.
But you see, Al also stayed silent for a while and only now started to be open about everything that was going on. Right after he started talking about Kim's demise and subtly accusing Diddy, Al fell into a coma and almost didn't make it. And guess who he was blaming for that? Now, with all the heat Diddy's getting from the feds lately, sources claim that Kim's loved ones are pushing to get the investigation into her demise reopened. They're saying they've got new evidence, and it's not just about Kim's demise, it's also shedding more light on Diddy's freaky behavior, including how his own mama was allegedly involved in those wild nights.
I don't even want to get started if she was doing that. We're not doing that. Cause
And folks, it may just happen that Mama Combs was actually a part of the criminal ring, and it was created way before Diddy's own birth. As one person commented, his dad was in the streets, and so was his mother. Lifestyle is inherited. And another user added, it looks like all the stuff is coming out. What in the dark always comes into light. But folks, if you really want to know all this mess in Diddy's life, we have go way back to when he was just a kid. His dad, Melvin Combs, was knee-deep in shady business. But when Diddy was only 3, it said that his dad got caught up in a bad deal and was taken out.
Just really a businessman. You got to really look at what he did back then.
After that, Diddy's mom, Janice, made it her mission to shield her baby boy from that street life and the fate like this. She packed up and moved him and his sister out of Harlem. As the music mogul himself recalled in one interview, until I was 12, I lived in Harlem. Then we moved to Mount Vernon, New York. That was Mom's way of getting us out of the inner city after my father was taken out. But my grandmother lived in Harlem, so I went back and forth. Being a single parent isn't easy, as one person is charged with duties typically split between 2 people, and Diddy's mother often had to step into the role of father, which included teaching her son how to defend himself. But here comes the most interesting part. In a 2006 interview with Oprah, Diddy dropped some bombs about how he found out what really happened to his dad.
father was
Turns out, his mom had been keeping the full story on the low. Diddy did his own digging and found out his dad wasn't just some regular guy. He was a real substance hustler. As the music mogul said, "She tried to protect me. My father was a hustler who sold substances. During his time, that was the way out of Harlem. Either that or playing basketball. My mother didn't want me to follow in his footsteps, so she was selective about which truths she told me." Now, with all that care, you'd think Diddy would steer clear of the street life, especially after everything his mom sacrificed, working herself to the bone to send him to a fancy Catholic school. But you guess wrong here, because since the school days, Diddy found himself in some shady circles.
They're but it's a blessing. It's a blessing to the point where I've been really maturing over the last.
But it's not like she can avoid the wild stories about her relationship with Puffy to surface. As the source mo claim, the main reason for Diddy's current behavior is his mom. She got him involved in intimate activities from a very age, which supposedly turned him into a bad man he is. In addition, a recent footage of Diddy and his mom has been making the rounds on social media, and people can't stop talking about how creepy it is, especially as camera shows Janice's white nails.
What?
Many viewers found this type of interaction between a mom and her child rather unsettling, pointing out that kissing a grown man on the lips crosses a line. But here's the main clue that unlocks the truth about their relationship. Some eagle-eyed fans noticed that his mom was wearing white nail polish, which, according to Cassie, was a sign of total submission. Among a list of allegations that Cassie mentioned in her lawsuit, the music mogul required her to paint her nails, while to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to have intimacy with her. Diddy might have picked up this preference from his mom, which only says how sick and deep the problem is. And the part where he mentioned they both got eye drips together, well, in the federal indictment papers, the feds mentioned how Diddy and his freak-off victims would get AVs to recover after their wild parties. People are starting to think Mama Combs might have been involved in some freaky stuff herself with her own son. And apparently, this stuff has been going on for a while.
We out here moving and grooving. So my mom told me, she just said, keep moving, baby.
It's crazy to even think about such things. But with all the rumors flying and Diddy's history of criminal activities, should we really be that surprised? But as we've learned from the news, there's nothing sacred for the music mogul. He used to have all kinds of partners, and there are even allegations of him corrupting young artists at their tender age. Some fans believe this sick stuff goes from the family, and they are up saying Diddy's mom was like a madam, running the freak-off parties behind the scenes. As one person wrote, "What a great mother to continue to keep the freak-offs going strong. Disgusting and so shameful." And another user added, "Diddy's mama created a monster. He still deserves his punishment, though." The saga of Diddy's shady actions will certainly bring us more juicy details in the future, and we are about to find out who's been helping him traumatize the industry for all these years. And what do you think about this, guys? Are these freak-offs a family business? And do you think Diddy's mother needs to be investigated? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check my other videos.